Hello guys, welcome to our reading lesson for today. So the very first thing I want you to do is think about something that you learned yesterday. I'm going to give you about 1 minute. Think about something you learned yesterday. So you might have thought we learned about poetry, right? And we learned our poetry basics. We learned that we circle the title, then we number the lines and stanzas, then we read the poem, and then we circle our rhyming words, and then we think about what the poem was about and we write it down, right? So today we're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to be continuing on with poetry, but we're going to be talking about hyperboles. So I want to talk about what a hyperbole is, and then while we talk about what a hyperbole is, then we will go through a poem and I will show you how to find a hyperbole. So, a hyperbole. So, a hyperbole is an over-exaggeration that is not meant to be taken literally. It is an over-exaggeration that is not meant to take literally. It puts an emphasis, it emphasizes a point or creates humor. So it's kind of meant to be funny. So a hyperbole is an over-exaggeration that is not meant to be taken seriously. And I'm going to put usually meant to be funny. Usually meant to be funny, okay? So an example of a hyperbole might be my dog is so ugly, even fleas won't live on him. My dog is so ugly, even fleas won't live on him. Well, A, that's funny because I think that fleas will live on any dog, right? So we know that this is an over-exaggeration, right? There's no way that the dog is so ugly that even fleas won't live on him, right? Because we're saying this is so silly. There's no way that could happen. There's no way that a dog could be that ugly that even fleas won't live on him, right? So we know this is a hyperbole because it's just too silly. It's just way too silly, right? There's no way that that's true. It's just so silly. Or, I'm sure y'all have heard this one a lot. When someone says, I told you 1,000 times, right? You've probably been told that one a lot. I told you 1,000 times. Well, someone really isn't going to tell you something 1,000 times, right? They probably won't tell you anything 1,000 times. But it's meant as an over-exaggeration. They're saying, seriously, come on, I've told you so many times and you still haven't gotten it yet. All right. So now let's take hyperbole and let's look at a poem. So this is called The Terrible Thing About Sydney. So we remember, I'm going to do my poem basics with this first. So my poem basics for my friends that were in challenge yesterday, the first thing I'm going to do is circle the title. So the title is The Terrible Thing About Sydney. Right? That's my title. Terrible thing about Sydney. So now I need to number the lines and the stanzas. 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I have 16 lines. I have 16 lines. And then I have 4 stanzas. 4 stanzas. So remember, stanzas are the lines that are grouped together. And usually there's a space in the middle. So the stanzas are the lines that are grouped together, and there's usually a space in the middle. All right, so now I need to read my poem. The terrible thing about Sydney is she packs a powerful punch. I learned this yesterday at school when I tried to take her lunch. I had only meant to tease her, to make her squeal and twist. The last thing I expected was her calculated fist. She socked me in the stomach. She's more than slightly deft, and sent me stumbling to my knees as she snatched her lunch and left. After that, I was quite sorry. I had tussled with a pro. I wish my friends had told me that she practiced Taekwondo. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to circle my rhyming words. So let's see. Punch and lunch. Then I have her, expected, no, twist, fist. Oh, that sounds like it rhymes. Stomach, death, left. Okay. Pro, do. Tussled with a pro, taekwondo. Pro, do, taekwondo. Okay. All right. So those are my rhyming words. So now I'm going to think about my poem. Well, I know this poem was about this guy, right? He tried to take Sydney's lunch, and Sydney hit him because he tried to take lunch. And she punched him, apparently, right? And she made him, or he made her mad. So I'm going to say this is about a boy who tried to take Sydney's lunch, and he got punched. All right, so for hyperboles, when it says she sent me stumbling to my knees, or when it says she left me more than slightly deft, right? So she left me more than slightly deft. So, and she sent him to his knees. You think she really could have punched him that hard that it made him fall on his knees? Probably not. It may have made him kind of like taken back a little bit, but it probably didn't necessarily put him like this, right? On his bottom on the floor. So that's probably a hyperbole. That's probably an over-exaggeration because they probably didn't necessarily, she didn't hit him so hard that it put him on his knees, right? And it made him fall. So those are our poetry basics. And that is what you're going to do with the poem. And we talked about hyperbole, right? So we kind of did 2 different things. So now you're going to do an activity on Seesaw. It's called My Phone. I'm going to show it to you real quick. So you are going to work on this poem. So you're going to read the poem. Okay, you're going to read the poem, and I want you to try and number the lines and the stanzas in this poem. I know it's going to be a little bit harder on here, okay, on Seesaw, but I think we can do it. Number the lines and the stanzas, highlight the rhyming words, and then write just a short little, what is this poem about? And then you're going to answer these questions that go with the poem, okay? You're going to answer these questions. They should be pretty easy. So that is all for reading today. After you're finished, if you finish before time is up, then you can read on Epic or My Eye on either one.